Hey, hello everybody, welcome to the sound test room. Today we're taking a look at Music Studio, which has just been updated. Oh yes, so now you can use like iCloud and file sharing, the file sharing apps, things and stuff like that. But it's still just a fantastically good DAW. I bought this, I actually bought this years and years ago, when it came out, and I bought all the extra instruments and stuff. I think this is the full version. You get an absolute ton of instruments. I think you get 100 anyway, and then you get an extra 60 when you purchase it. But I think it's $14.99 and then $6.99 for all the instruments. Fantastic stuff. I've got a piano. I've got a project set up here. And it's 4 bars long. I'm just going to record some bits and pieces and do some cool stuff. It's so good. What I normally do though with the effects is when I set up a new project on the global effects, there'll be a reverb applied. I take that off because I can apply 5 insert effects to each individual channel. I usually leave the limiter on the global as well, but then you have 5 sends and also like the track effects. So track effects is cool beans. So that's what I'm going to do, and I'm going to apply just a little bit of reverb to the piano, and that's it. So, and you add bars. It defaults to 1 bar. You add bar by tap and tap, tap, taps. So I'm going to have this loop around. I'm going to I've set my metronome on wood because I like that sound, and turn the volume up a little bit as well. So it's very cool beans. So switch my metronome on, go to my keyboard page where I can arm record. You can also set up the keyboard, the on-screen keyboard, to play chords. You just press set and then the chord, and then you change the keys. Easy peasy. So I'm going to hit record. I think I've also set this for the 2-bar counting on my metronome. Yep, which defaults to 1 bar, but I like to have 2 because I'm old and slow. So back to keyboard. I don't know. I tell you what, I don't know. I would like the record button on this page as well, but hey ho, can't have everything. Right, so I'm going to do this and go back to track. So I made a little mistake there. Doesn't really matter for this. Now, if I didn't have auto quantize on, these 2 buttons here are really important. This is your track edit. So if I will individual track edit this one, and this one is your like complete bar edit. They both do different things, so it's nice to know what they do, sort of thing. So if I can edit this by double tapping, okay, and I've on my piano roll now, and then I can choose quantize, and the quantize amount, okay. But like I was already in auto quantize anyway in my keyboard setup here. If I go to keyboard, you'll see that I've auto quantize switched on. You can switch it off or set it up to 1/64. That's fine. Sorry, I've got a bit of a cold. Right, so we can exit this by just pressing track again, and we're back. If we go into like our bar edit, doing this, you can select individual sections of the bar, okay, and then you can choose quantize all or just quantize part. Then you can cut it as well. You can also transpose it, or you can double it up. Okay, we'll get into that in just a second. So first of all, we'll go back to our track view here. So this is what we have. So that's fine. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add another audio track here, okay, like this. Another MIDI track, which will give me another piano instrument. Or I could do it this way. Let me just delete this track. I'm going to do this ×2, so it's copying the MIDI information as well. Then I can go to instrument, because I'm selected here, you see. I can go to instruments, and I can choose something like the church organ. We can preview it before or we can play our MIDI keyboard. Okay, so that's what I'm going to have. I'm going to have that church organ there. So we can go back to track, and we'll see that it's changed to church organ. Now I'm going to want to start to organize my colors. So if I long hold on the instruments icon here, you'll see that it says move track, so I can move the piano there or leave it there, or I can change the color just by keeping the hold on and just sliding it along. So we'll keep that at that, and then we'll do the same for this, and we'll change the color to like a darker blue. And this is where you can start to manage your tracks, and you can, as you build it up, sort of thing. So now what we've got these two organ tracks here. It's piano and organ. Turn the organ down. So it doesn't have a mixer view. Your mixer is independent for each one. So let's pan the organ over slightly that way. Okay. And what we're going to do now, and this is where the two views come in handy, we're going to select this here, and then we're going to just select it all like this, and then this button down here, this is going to duplicate the whole thing. So now we've got 8 bars. Okay, so what I want to do now is I just want to transpose those set of bars. So again, because I'm in my bar edit, I can just hold on anywhere and then just select them all, and I'll hit this little button, which is quantize, and I can go up now. So I'm going to move this up, say three semitones. So 1, 2, 3, and we'll see how that sounds. So what will happen now as I play my track, let's move our timeline back here. Let's go back to our track view. So now we've got this transposed, and with very little work whatsoever, we've managed to transpose our track, and it sounds great, as transpositions go. Now, of course, you could, if you wanted to, it might not work so great with this particular effect, but I could, for instance, just say, let's just go to loop these for these first 4 bars. Let's go to our bar edit view, and let's select these first organ sounds. Okay. Now, first of all, we'll quantize, cancel that. I want to transpose, but I'm going to transpose the organ up 1 octave. Okay. So let me just see how that sounds for this. Okay, so that's fine. Okay, so let's forget this project for a sec. Okay, let's go to new projects. That was just a thing. This is how you can build up your instruments. Now let's save that. Although I don't know, it sounds a bit naff, but let's create new. Let's save that as something else. Testing. Okay, and let's just go back to our track now, and it'll be on the last instrument. So 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll add 4 to start with. That's fine. I'm going to change this now. Let's go to some of the instruments. Now I want to show you some of the cool instrument stuff you get. So, the sounds are epic. They are really, really great. And then you can see you get absolutely brilliant, and then you get all sorts of other stuff. There's so many good sounds that it's so worth buying a full pack. And as a song building unit, machine, template sort of thing, it's so cool. And of course you have your bit of an ADSR going on there. Very cool. Okay, what instruments? get loads of synths. Anyway, but you can see that some of the world sounds are just fantastic. Okay, so like I said, we've created a new didgeridoo. Oh, it's so cool. Right, if we go back to our tracks now, I've selected whale kit, but you get loads of drum kits, see? Tons and tons. Oh, tons and tons, but you get a few. You get enough to be doing what you need to do. You can import your own samples as well, and you can record audio. But if we select the drum track, we get, I can play it with my MIDI as well. But if we go back to tracks now, first of all, go to effects. Now, this is the thing, see, again, go to global because it defaults to and I don't want a reverb on it. So now it's dry. Now I can add my own effect, a little bit of reverb. And I can choose the style and what have you, so that's much, much better for me. Okay, so we'll go back to tracks now, and we've got our drum, and I've created a 4-bar. So let's go to setup here. Let's go to my metronome, which I prefer to be a wood 2-bar counting. Keyboard's all fine. Leave it on auto quantize anyway. Great for drums. Straight off. General, that's all fine. Projects. We've done this. Effects, we know. Tracks, instruments, drum pads. So now I'm going to record some stuff in. Okay, we'll stop that. And sorry, go back to that and set this on loop. Okay, and this is where the music studio, for speed of creating a track and ideas, comes in, you know. So let's go to instrument now. Let's go to whaled instruments. Go to marimba, I think. All right, sorry. Go back to tracks. Add MIDI track. Sorry about that. Go back. So now I've recorded some MIDI data into that. Now, like I said it before, if I wanted to, if I wasn't on auto quantize, which I am, I could go into this setting here, choose this, choose quantize, okay, after you've chosen the quantize, and you're good to go. It'll be done, so, you know. So let's move our timeline back to the beginning. Add. Okay, so let's go back. Select my sitar. so what I want to do now is I'd rather the sitar came in sort of after those two had played once, sort of thing. So this is another thing we can do. Let's choose the whole lot here like this. Let's just duplicate it all. Okay. And for this first section here, I'm going to just select those four and knock them out. And then all I want to do is duplicate these again. So I'm still on my track view, so I can select all of those and then you see it's done. But I've still got my intro section. So you can start building, you can get an idea of how you can build it up. Let's change the color for this one. I'll go back to track view and choose this one. And just to keep things a bit more organized, you know, if you were doing it for you, sort of thing. There we go. And then let's go back, check our thing. And again, what we could do is split it there and we could transpose that look like, well, we wouldn't need to transpose only the marimba and the thing we'd want to, for instance. So like we could do this, transpose, and we could just go, let's just go one semitone, okay? Which kind of is the old pop music trick, isn't it? So let's just see how that goes. Pardon me, right. See, transposing like that works great. Sounds nice as well. And then if you wanted to, like I said, well, let's set our loop points here and apply a few effects to the sitar, see what happens. So there you go, guys. There's a look at, I mean, it's not a full tutorial by any means. There is one more thing you can do as well. Although with this, it's not going to sound awesome, but I'll show you anyway. It's sometimes a good way to set up a track to get started with. If you go to projects here and you go to where it says beats, you can use any of the included beats sort of thing in your track. But there are like lots of different styles you can have a go at. You wouldn't want Metal Speedhouse in that though. But there are a few different. But if you say, for instance, you wanted to start with that, all you've got to do is either hit append or load, go back to your tracks, and you'll see that it's been dropped in there. And again, your editing is exactly the same. You know, if you're in track view, you can double tap on this and you can edit the actual beat that's included. Or you can chop it there or take parts of the MIDI out so it only comes in later on, move it around, etc., etc. You can see how easy it is to use and how easy it is to build up something really cool. I'm just going to quickly play this to see how it sounds. That's... I don't know what's happened there. Let me have a look at my tempo. Where's my metronome? No, where's my tempo? Sorry. Where's me track? Where's me track? It is. Don't know. Oh, 120. That's weird. Let me just mute that. Okay, I'm just gonna unmute it and I'm gonna solo it. I think that probably what's happened is that this should be running at like a much lower tempo than 120, because it's running at 120 and it shouldn't be really. It should be running. It's better sound would be a lower tempo. But anyway, you get the idea. You can. Let's get rid of that actually here. Delete, and let's try something that's probably more effective at 120. That'll do. See what happens now. Oh yeah, and you'll also notice that some of these kits have used multiple instruments as well to create their effect. So, you know. Somehow I don't think that'd work with that track, you know, but you get the idea. You get the idea. I don't want to put that in with my world track. Anyway, look, you get the idea of what you can do, the kind of things you can do, how easy it is to manipulate the actual track. And you can zoom in and out like up to like just the pair bar sort of thing. As soon as you hit this, it'll just jump back into the whole thing so you can see what's going on. Listen, guys, I'm going to go. I'll put links in for Music Studio in the description below. It really is very, very good. And, you know, you take your time. It's difficult on the demo, you know, especially when you're just messing around. Yeah, if you like the video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, consider becoming a patron, and I will see you guys later. Sata.